There's a moment, and you've probably felt it too, where you look around at your life and you realize you've ticked all the boxes you thought would make you happy. You've got the career, you've got the home, you've got the partner maybe, you've got the children, and yet you're exhausted, restless, and you just feel disconnected. Today, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how success, despite all its benefits, can quietly cost you your peace, your well-being, and even your relationships. But more importantly, I really want to talk about what you can start to do about it. Hi, I'm Nick. I help busy professionals, high achievers, and leaders maximize performance. And on this channel, I share ideas and practical tools really to help you win. They're designed to help you win without losing your mind, your health, or your relationships. I've also created a free stress relief cheat sheet to get you started. It's a quick 5-step guide to tackling stress, one stressor at a time. Just check in the description below and you'll find the link there. So in this video, I'm going to explore 3 ways success can rob you of your peace and suggest some practical steps you can take to regain control of your life without sacrificing your goals. Make sure to stay until the end, as I'm going to be sharing a simple but very powerful exercise that can help you break free from the success stress cycle in just 5 minutes a day. You really don't want to miss it. From conversations with high achieving professionals, I've noticed some common themes. And one that stands out is that though they seem to have it all together on the outside, on the inside, they're often struggling with anxiety, burnout, and feelings of just not being good enough. Now, this might be something you can relate to as well. You know, we grow up believing success is about accumulation. It's about titles, recognition, the house, the car. And we get there, we reach those milestones, which is all great, but no one tells us that these achievements can also take something away from us. So the first way success can quietly cost you your peace is through a constant pressure to maintain appearances. I worked with a client, let's call her Sarah for the sake of this video. She built a thriving business, but found herself responding to emails at 11 p.m. Not because she needed to, but because she was scared of dropping the ball, concerned about her clients thinking that she wasn't dedicated enough, that she wasn't committed. But what she didn't realize was that her beliefs about success had created a wall that she couldn't let down. Now, this wall stopped her from showing vulnerability, from admitting when she was struggling, or admitting or accepting that she needed to take a break. Her success had become a prison of expectations. For people like Sarah, this pressure to appear as if everything is okay can be hard work. You continually say yes to stay ahead, constantly stay visible to prove your relevance and your value. You might say things like, I just need to get through this week, or once this project's done, then I'll slow down. But here's the thing, there's always another week. There'll always be another project, another reason to keep going, another reason not to slow down. And that's why the second way success can quietly cost you your peace is that it can cause you to sacrifice connection for achievement. I've been there myself. I remember years ago, my sons would ask me to play and I'd respond with, just give me a few minutes, I'll be there soon. But those minutes often turned into hours, and before I knew it, the opportunities were gone. I prioritized tasks over connection, and in doing so, I'd gained productivity, but I lost peace, and I also impacted my relationships. But I learned something valuable which you can benefit from. Your work will not ask you to stop. Your clients will not ask you to take a break. Why? Because in the short to medium term, they benefit from you not stopping. So to stay connected with the people who matter to you, it's really important to take a break and slow down. Right, if what I'm saying is resonating with you, you will benefit from my stress relief cheat sheet. It's a 5-step guide to help high achievers, leaders, and busy professionals like you manage stress better. The link is in the description below. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, the third cost of success is that you can start to lose touch with what matters to you. Another client I worked with shared how upset he was after climbing the corporate ladder for over 20 years, only to realize that he'd been chasing someone else's definition of success. Through our sessions, it turns out he was chasing what his parents had always regarded as successful. So after arriving at their definition of success, the question was whether it was what he wanted or where he wanted to be. And the answer was no. He hated what he did. He was tired, frustrated, and worst of all, he felt unfulfilled. You see, the loss of peace happens quietly, incrementally, over time. But by the time you notice, it can feel like you're trapped. Now, the thing is, You might have many achievements and you might appear successful, but that doesn't mean you're at peace and fulfilled. So let's just pause for a second, because you might be wondering, is Nick suggesting that I quit my job, sell my house, or move to Bali or the Caribbean? Now, although that does sound quite appealing, but for most people, regaining peace looks like making small, deliberate decisions to just reclaim life on their terms. It's resting without feeling guilty, saying no without making excuses, and choosing presence over productivity. Peace is waking up in the morning without feeling dread or anxiety, getting through the day without relying on adrenaline or coffee, and being able to sit with yourself without needing to numb your emotions by endlessly scrolling on your phone or pouring another glass or smoking another spliff. So I want to invite you to pause, to notice what's happening for you right now. Maybe you've got thoughts that won't quieten down. You're feeling irritable, or you're feeling defensive or guarded about what you're hearing from me right now in this video. These psychological signs often show up when something touches a truth that we've been avoiding or that we don't want to face. If that's the case, I encourage you to lean into it rather than running away from it. You see, I get it. If your sense of worth and identity has been built on being useful and needed, slowing down can be really scary. And this is why many high achievers I work with avoid slowing down, despite being exhausted, despite being tired. Slowing down forces us to feel, to grieve the parts of ourselves we've neglected on the route to our success. Slowing down forces us to notice our loneliness and fatigue, and to admit the quiet longing for something richer and meaningful in our lives. And that can be hard, but it's also where the healing starts, which is why it's so important to lean in courageously. So if any of this is landing with you right now, here's my invitation to you. Start small. Not by radically changing your life overnight, but just by noticing. Notice the moments your body says enough, the relationships that feel one-sided, and the habits that numb your emotions rather than nourish them. And in those moments, I want you to choose one thing. Choose to get an early night, to cancel the meeting without explaining yourself, to stop scrolling, and maybe to respond to the email tomorrow. Choose one small act of rebellion against the habits that have been quietly costing you your peace. It might seem impossible at first, and that's why doing it in small steps is so helpful. I believe it's possible to be successful and experience peace, to be ambitious and cultivate meaningful connections, to be productive and make time for rest. They do not need to be exclusive, but you will need to claim them, and you will need to be deliberate about making them happen, one small choice at a time. But with time, your choices will build momentum, and suddenly you'll wake up in a life that feels like yours again. Not perfect, but honest, richer, and more aligned with your values. And that is the type of success no one can take from you. Okay, so there it is. 3 ways success can rob you of your peace, and some practical steps you can take to regain control of your life without sacrificing your achievements. But as promised, as you've stayed with me to the end, well done. Here is the 5-minute reflection exercise that I promised. Each evening, just ask yourself a simple question. What moments today felt both successful and peaceful? And write them down. 3 at most. This will train your brain to notice more of these dual quality experiences rather than pursuing success at the expense of peace, or peace at the expense of success. Because like I said, it's possible to be successful and experience peace. Great. So if this video resonated, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't forget to download the free stress relief cheat sheet using the link below. Thanks for watching. And as always, I'm rooting for you. Be well. Choose one small act of rebellion against the habits that have... Choose one small habit...